diretsahan na lang. Is there a possibility that the Omicron will visit the Philippines?
Yes, sir. It's not a matter of if, okay? It's a matter of when.
Yeah.
So talagang yan po, papasok yan just as we have experienced with Alpha, Beta, Delta. Among the interventions, it is really vaccination that will really help us mitigate the effects of this new variant.
Pag wala kang bakuna at magpabakuna ka, now is the time to do it because it's a day dedicated to vaccine. So, itong private pati public offices, pag magpabakuna yung trabahante ninyo, allow them to go out and have the vaccine. Itong mga tao na ayaw talaga magpabakuna because of whatever, religious, or, I mean no offense. Pero yung ayaw magpabakuna, madali lang man yan. Mamili ka. Matagal kang mabuhay o gusto mo nang mamatay. Diyan sa dalawa na, pag kumapit yung COVID na yan, hindi pa natin alam itong Omicron, patay na. Mamili kayo. Early demise or live longer.
The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. The Philippines is tightening its borders amid the threat of the Omicron variant. The public, however, raised concerns over the non-inclusion of Hong Kong in the travel ban, despite confirming cases of the new COVID-19 variant. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez gives us the front seat to the story.
The Philippines has quickly moved to tighten border controls in a bid to keep out the Omicron variant. First, the green list category has been temporarily suspended. That means all countries will either fall under yellow or red list. Red means travelers can't enter, while passengers from yellow list countries need to comply with testing and quarantine protocols.
If the passenger po is fully vaccinated and mayroong RT-PCR test 72 hours before dumating sa Pilipinas, 3 days po ang mandatory quarantine. Magte-test sila on the 3rd day. Pag naman po walang RT-PCR test, 5th day po ang RT-PCR test and quarantine. And pagka unvaccinated po, 7 days tinetest po.
On Sunday, the IATF also expanded the flight ban to 7 more countries until December 15. Added to the red list are Austria, the Czech Republic, Hungary, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Belgium, and Italy. These are in addition to African nations initially included in the list, like South Africa, where the variant was first detected.
Tanging mga Pilipinong pabalik ng Pilipinas via government-initiated or non-government-initiated repatriation at bayanihan flights ang pinapayagang makapasok.
Passengers who are already in transit and will arrive before November 30 are exempt. However, they will be required to undergo a 14-day facility-based quarantine. Nograles also explained why Hong Kong was put on the yellow list despite having 1 recorded case of the Omicron variant.
Pagre-red list ng mga countries will be dependent kung meron na pong local case doon sa bansa na yon.
Countries around the world have raced to shut their borders to South African nations within a few days of the discovery of Omicron. But a South African doctor who was one of the first to flag the new variant says the global response has been irrational.
So far, we've only seen breakthrough infections, not severe infections.
The Omicron variant has now been detected in at least 15 countries, mostly in Europe. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, we are One News.
Infectious disease expert Dr. Edsel Salvania says there are no indications yet that the Omicron variant is deadlier than the Delta variant. Salvania says early findings even suggest that Omicron might make for milder cases compared to other variants. The problem is, it could be more transmissible and more resilient against existing vaccines.
So this is the newest, most mutated variant po, Mr. President. So it is possibly more transmissible than Delta, although hindi pa ito sigurado, but this is what WHO is watching out for po. The problem is this may be less susceptible to our vaccines in preventing infection, but it's not going to be zero po. Mababawasan lang if ever. And we still expect that the vaccines will continue to protect against severe disease. Sabi rin naman po ng manufacturers, kung mukhang mababa talaga yung efficacy, they can also tweak the vaccines po.
Meanwhile, DOH NITAG member Dr. Anna Ong Lim says we should be as vigilant as the WHO when it comes to this new variant. She said our experience with the Delta variant should serve as a lesson as to why we should restrict border access early.
From what we've observed of the behavior of WHO in the past, they've been quite cautious. And so for them to designate it as a VOC right off the bat, it raised a lot of concern. So siguro isa pong pwedeng pag-aralan ulit ito para makabili po tayo ulit ng oras to be able to strengthen our health infrastructure, to be ready for the worst eventuality. Habang po pinapatakbo natin yung kampanya natin sa vaccination, which we think will be the ultimate protection para sa ating mga kababayan. Yun lang po.
The country's COVID-19 experts assure the public that there's still no case of the Omicron variant here in the country. During last night's NTF meeting, PGC Director for Health Programs, Dr. Eva de la Paz, reported that they have yet to detect a case of this new variant. Still, experts say that the country should prepare and should have learned from its experiences from the Delta variant surge.
So far po sa mga sequencing results natin sa Philippine Genome Center, hindi pa po siya nadidetect. Subalit ang aming pong mga plano ngayon ay imungkahi po, hikayatin po muli ang mga laboratorio upang mag-submit po ng mga samples, lalo na po galing sa ating mga returning overseas Filipino.
On 1PH sa totoo lang, Dr. Nicanor Austriaco of the Octa Research Group said the Omicron variant may enter the country by the first or second quarter of next year. He said this gives enough time for the government to prepare response measures.
We have to simply, it is there, we will pray that it is not as powerful as scientists think it may be. But we have time to prepare, we have time to enjoy Christmas first. And then after Christmas, then we can worry what will happen in the first or second quarter of 2022.
The number coding system is making a comeback in Metro Manila. The MMDA says a modified coding system will be implemented within this week. The number coding will take effect every Monday to Friday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. except during holidays. Public utility vehicles, transport network vehicles, services like Grab, motorcycles and trucks are exempted from the policy. MMDA Chairman Benher Abala says they're just waiting for the official gazette to publish the rule before they can enforce it. Abalos also revealed that the agency is in talks with Grab to use stickers for easy identification of their vehicles.
Inuulit ko, pati motorsiklo exempted. Okay. Provided na yung kasing Grab, mahihirapan kami i-identify ito Hindi kamukha ng mga taxi, identifiable, mga bus, identifiable. Mahirap namang hulihin mo isa-isa yan at magpa-flag down ka. Baka pag flag down mo, mag-traffic sa likod nila. Pag-uusap sa kanila na makakaroon sila ng sticker. Maaaring lagyan ng sticker ng Grab at sticker na rin ng MMDA just to counter-check. Otherwise, baka kumalat ang mga fake na stickers. Ito ay pinag-uusapan na at makakaroon kami ng implementing rules and regulations ayon sa pag-uusap nito. Kasi you are looking at about 7,000 to 10,000 vehicles.
President Duterte led the commemoration of Andres Bonifacio's 158th birth anniversary in San Juan earlier today. To give us the latest on the ground, we now have on the line Maricel Halili. She's reporting to us from the Pinaglabanan Memorial Shrine in San Juan City. Good morning, Maricel. This is the second and last time that President Duterte attended this Bonifacio Day celebration. So could you tell us what makes today so special?
Hi, Charles. You're right. Actually, this is a very unusual activity for the president, considering that, as we all know, he is not a morning person. But he was here on time at exactly 8 a.m. He started leading the flag-raising ceremony and the wreath-laying ceremonies here at Pinaglabanan Shrine in San Juan City. As like what you've said, this is in commemoration of the 158th birth anniversary of Gat Andres Bonifacio. And I don't know if it's because it's still early in the morning, he gave a very brief and a sweet speech during the ceremony this morning. He said that it was his pleasure to join the commemoration of the anniversary of Andres Bonifacio. He actually encouraged the public to remember his heroism because it gives us sense of hope, especially now that we're actually facing several challenges, including the pandemic. He even actually acknowledged the presence of one of the relatives of Gat Andres Bonifacio. He actually gave the orden ni Lapu-Lapu with the rank of Magalong to Buena Grace Distrito Casadova. She is one of the relatives of Andres Bonifacio. After his short speech, he actually went to El Deposito Underground Reservoir. It is also within the facility to check this particular project, and there was also an exhibit. After that, he left the venue right away, and we were not able to ask questions to the president, considering that there's a lot of issue. Instead, we talked to acting presidential spokesperson Carlo Nograles before he left the venue and asked why or what was the basis of the interagency task force for deciding to extend the alert level in Metro Manila. Still in alert level 2 up until December 15. Secretary Nograles said that the reason behind that is because of the hospital utilization rate and an average daily attack rate. It's still the same. We still don't know if they can impose an alert level 1 come December, considering the new discovered COVID-19 variant. And aside from that, they still have to finalize the guidelines for alert level 1. Charles?
Yeah, there you have it. The president having a productive morning this Bonifacio Day. Thanks for that, Maricel. That was Maricel Halili. You're on the line, reporting live from San Juan. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno led the wreath-laying ceremony at the Liwasang Bonifacio in celebration of the hero's 158th birth anniversary. Moreno was joined by Vice Mayor Honey Lacuna and other Manila officials. In his speech, the presidential hopeful urged the youth to find inspiration and lessons in Bonifacio's life as a guide in choosing their next leader. He also hailed medical frontliners as modern-day heroes who made sacrifices in the country's fight against COVID-19.
Sulit nga ba ang pagbubuhis ng buhay ng ating mga bayani tulad ni Andres Bonifacio na ating ipinagdiriwang ngayon ang kanyang kaarawan? Yan ang dapat natuntunin nating nakasagutan sa mga darating na araw. Mapapariwara ba ang kanilang mga inalay na buhay, sakripisyo, hirap, sugat, gutom, puyat, makamit lang ang tagumpay?
Meanwhile, Vice President Leni Robredo says Bonifacio serves as an example of a brave Filipino who is willing to risk his own life to create a just and humane society. Robredo adds that Bonifacio should serve as Filipinos' inspiration in fighting abuse perpetrated by those in power. Robredo urges Filipinos to internalize the lessons left by Bonifacio in order to achieve the ideal country envisioned by our heroes. Time now for a quick look at some of today's headlines. Metro Manila and several other areas remain under Alert Level 2 until mid-December. The government says face shields may soon make a comeback if the Omicron variant enters the country. And the Octa Research Group warns some vaccines may not be effective against the Omicron variant. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us later at 10:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.